All right. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Wayne County Commission to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Each member is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Anderson,
Present.
Commissioner Basham,
Here.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Here.
Commissioner Daub has requested an excuse. Commissioner Haddis,
Present.
Commissioner Killeen,
How about now? Here.
Commissioner Kinlock, Commissioner Kinlock, Commissioner Kniezek,
Here.
Commissioner Marecki,
Here.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Here.
Commissioner Scott,
Present.
Commissioner Varga,
Present from Houghton Lake.
Houghton Lake, thank you, Commissioner. Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun,
Here.
Vice Chair Palomera,
Here.
Chair Bell,
Here.
Commissioner Kinlock. You have a quorum present.
Okay, thank you so much. Next item, please.
Invocation.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our invocator for this morning. It is the Reverend Dr. Patricia Butler. She is a lifelong Detroiter and retired public school teacher, having taught elementary, secondary, adult education, and college courses. She has experience in leadership and policy studies, curriculum development, special education, and computer-based instruction. Dr. Butler has served 12 years at the Third Judicial Court of Michigan as a domestic relations specialist, overseeing cases involving child support and visitation. Having taught her first Sunday school class at the age of 12, Dr. Butler has served in many capacities in the church: assistant Sunday school superintendent, fire usher board, and trustee and missionary. Dr. Butler has serves currently as pastor of the St. Luke Tabernacle Community Church, Detroit, for the past 15 years and conducts weekly worship services for our children. Dr. Butler is Director of Community Development and Outreach with the Cody Root Community Action Alliance, assisting with community revitalization and sustainability. I can't speak today. In addition to having served on the Education Committee of the Council of Baptist Pastors of Detroit and vicinity, she has held several positions throughout the Detroit and several boards. She holds 5 degrees: Associate of Science from the Highland Park Community College, Bachelor of Science in Elementary and Special Education, Master's in Instructional Technology, Education Specialist in Supervision, and a Doctorate in Leadership and Policy Studies. Dr. Butler is a mother of 3, and she has adopted 3 children, her great nieces and nephews, and a grandmother of 10, a great grandmother of 3. She is commonly known around the Cody Root area as Granny. Dr. Butler seeks to encourage and inspire by demonstrating the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I've known Dr. Butler for at least 15 years, and she is a force to be reckoned with in the Cody Root area and all throughout District 7. So it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Butler to do our invocation for this morning. Dr. Butler, I'll turn it over to you.
Amen. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone. That
Morning.
introduction was longer than my prayer. I wrote it down because I'm Baptist, and we can go on and on and on. And there is one correction. I'm expecting 2 more grandbabies by the end of the day. My daughter-in-law is in labor with twins as we speak.
Ooh.
All right. Wonderful.
So yeah. And then one was already born last month. So
Oh, boy.
now it's up to 13, but I don't have to raise them. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Commissioner Bell, for this honor and privilege to say the prayer. Let us bow our heads. Oh, Heavenly Father, and the source of our well-being, our creator and provider. Thou, O God, who is always present, always knowing, and in all ways sufficient. We give thanks for this day and the blessings of grace and mercy. O Lord, the Wayne County Commission seeks your face today. We seek your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. Bless each one of us collectively and individually. Shower us with favor from on high as we represent the collective voice of the people. We ask you to endow them each with divine leadership, with diligent stewardship, with the tenacity to stay true to their purpose, and the strength to remain faithful in their duties. As a body, we ask, O Lord, that you will continue to bless this commission and its leadership and the work that they do. May their hands show favor to the people in the work. And if you do this, O Lord, we will forever give you praise and be thankful. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you so much, Dr. Beller, for joining us today. I can't wait till I can see you in person, but thank you for joining us on Zoom.
With a lot of babies.
a lot of babies.
Thank you.
With all
I
your
would love
babies.
to stay for the meeting. I read the agenda. It's very interesting. But as I said, I got 2 babies on the way. I got 2 here in the house, and I have another meeting. So thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.
Okay. Okay.
Bye-bye. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
For the record, Commissioner Kinlock is present in the meeting. Next
Thank you.
item, reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun,
Move for approval.
Support.
been moved and supported. Are there any changes to the journal? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Anyone wish to abstain?
Motion carries.
Okay, next item.
Report from the chair.
Just that we had a very informative meeting on yesterday about our ARPA dollars, that's American Rescue Plan dollars, and the flooding response by Wayne County. And I think we have a lot of great information. If there's anyone on the line who was not able to attend that meeting, they are recorded and they are on our website. So please visit our website if you would like to listen to the meeting from yesterday. Also, I haven't said this in a while, but for our listening public, we operate in committees. So many of the items that you see on the agenda have been vetted and questions have been asked, and the committee members have gone through it thoroughly, and then they come here for final disposition. That's all that I have today. Thank you.
We're on page 2 of the agenda, unfinished business. There is none listed. We are moving to offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There are none listed. We will go to reports from committees. Report A is from the Committee on Economic Development. There are 6 items listed on pages 2 and 3 of the agenda.
Commissioner Haydus.
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I move to receive and file item 1, 2, and 3 and approve 4, 5, and 6.
Support Anderson.
Is there support?
Support Anderson.
Okay. Looking at the items, is there any discussion?
And we see item 6.
Item 4 and 5, move up the agenda, please.
Oh, there's, okay, all right.
Okay, good. Okay. 5, and then there's 6 for Samaritas. Of course, that's homeless shelter, family shelter, I should say. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, it's been moved and supported. Roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Aye.
Commissioner Knizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun,
Yes.
Vice Chair Palomero,
Yes.
Chair Bell,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. And I'm getting a notice that my internet is unstable, so if you all can't hear me, flag so I can try to move to another room or turn it over to Commissioner Palomero. Next item, please.
We're on Report B from the Committee on Public Services. There are 22 items listed on pages 3 through 10 of the agenda.
Okay, Commissioner Marecki, but I see Commissioner Basham's hand is up.
Yes,
Commissioner
yep. I know what he wants.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Marecki.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to approve or receive and file for items number 1 and approve items 2 through 22 with Commissioner Baydun being the maker of the motion on number 4.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to be the maker of the motion on item number 5.
Sure.
And also, I do have a question about item number 8.
Okay, let's go down to number 8. Okay, stop right there. All right, go ahead, Commissioner.
Well, it's comparable source, and I just, I'm not a fan of comparable source, but if somebody could explain it just a tad.
Okay.
Yes,
From the
good morning,
department to-
Alicia
Good morning.
Branford, Wayne County Parks Director, Madam Chair.
Good
Commissioner
morning.
Basham, Signs by Craney has implemented our branding signage since 2018. If you visit our parks, you see we went through a new branding. They have the particular material, the color content, and things of that nature. So to be consistent with the signage that we already have implemented within our park system as we continue our phases, we wanted to do a comparable source with Signs by Craney.
And if I may, Madam Chair, if the way we process the bidding goes out, if they're the only person that responds to meet the criteria that we require, then I'm okay with it. But to not allow other companies to put sunshine on the process, to not allow other companies, I'm just trying to send a message that I know this will pass, but the point is, I just want to send a message that I think we could make it more sunshine on the process if we just bid it out versus a comparable source. And still, they could be the same vendor with the same colors and the same everything.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Anderson?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to, with the approval of the chair of the committee, be the maker of the motion on number 8.
Sure. No problem.
And I do have a question on, let's see, on number 12. It has to do with a leasing of property under a bridge on Greenfield overpass. And I'm just wanted to ask a quick question if someone can address it, maybe our council. Is the county indemnified for lawsuits that might result as a possibility of a damage that might be caused by the overpass, or being that it's on county property?
Someone from DPS to answer that question. Or Corp Counsel.
Paul Zook from Wayne County DPS Real Estate. The contract is through my department, and we do have a requirement that they are required to carry liability insurance, naming the county as within that policy. And so I'm not familiar with all the legal aspects of it, but they are required as part of the lease agreement to carry that liability insurance.
So does it indemnify the county against those lawsuits?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what all the terms are of that particular policy.
Through the chair,
Commissioner,
this is Cheryl Jordan, and I don't have my eyes on the specific contract, but I would like to assure you that there are standard indemnification and hold harmless provisions in all of our contracts. So I'd like to tell you yes, but I don't have this contract right in front of me. But we can follow up with you specifically on that, Commissioner.
Okay, Cheryl, I'd appreciate it if you would. I trust that it's probably a long-standing thing in the contracts, but since I didn't see the contract in front of me, that was the reason I had the question. Number 13, I had a question about also professional services agreement to do work from a public relations firm for just under 200,000 for DPS. And I was just curious if someone from DPS could explain exactly what will be done. I don't recall having seen a contract for public relations and marketing and that from DPS or for DPS. So I just wondered if someone could address, is this a new contract, a new type of contract that's never been in existence? And also, why is it necessary to have a public relations firm, and what would they be doing for the county?
Through the chair, good afternoon or good morning. This is Elmika Steele, Deputy Director, Wayne County Department of Public Services. You're correct, Commissioner. This is actually a new contract for DPS. And this is something that our Director, Beverly Watts, and our leadership team believe that will truly be an asset. Interestingly, when you look at some other public agencies, Wayne County is actually a little bit behind in terms of how we market ourselves from a public services standpoint. We do a lot of good things in Wayne County. And as Director Watts will often say, we're more than just the orange trucks. But a lot of times the public perception is that, you know, it's just about filling potholes, but there's a lot of things that we do. So we did go through the competitive selection process, and Van Dyke Horn firm was the deemed the most responsive to that solicitation. And what they're going to do is come in, take a look at our department, the various services that we performed. They'll be assisting to help us with marketing. Like I said, you know, in addition to roles, they're obviously going to assist with that. But, you know, we have parks, we have environment, we have other avenues and information that we want to be able to strategize and get information out to the public. I know even recently, as we all know, there's a lot of power in media. Even how we're communicating with the public is changing, whether it's social media emphasis is now becoming more prevalent. So that the Van Dyke Horn team is going to be able to assist us with putting together those pieces and being able to implement. So this is something new, and we're actually very excited about it. And the idea to be able to bring information to the public in a way that they can easily understand, and that we can make sure that everyone in Wayne County knows the outstanding work that is performed by the department, as well as resources that are available for the public.
Okay.
and to that point, if I could, Commissioner, to that point, will they only be working with the Public Services Department, or will they be working with other departments within the county?
So this particular contract is for the Department of Public Services, so that will be the emphasis. But we know sometimes DPS, you know, there are things that you know, touch in other areas, but the emphasis is on DPS.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Commissioner Anderson, the floor is yours.
Just a follow-up question. If we could be alerted when they've got something that's going out, commissioners could be, so we could see exactly what they're doing for us. And because I'm sure if they're doing a good job, you'll be bringing it back to us and at the end of this contract. And we'd like to see what we're getting for the dollars, I think. I don't know if she's still there.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, we certainly can make sure that we keep commissioners updated, you know, with our programs and services. And that way you'll also be able to, you know, see some of the tangibles with the marketing that takes place through our programs and services. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I have a list, but I saw Council Johnson. I didn't know if she was responding to a previous question. Felicia Johnson.
Good morning. Through the chair, yes, Madam Chair, I was. I just wanted to confirm for Commissioner that the previous contract for the lease of the land does include indemnification language and specifically all claims, including lawsuits.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Felicia. Okay, I'll go now to Commissioner Haydus.
Thank you, Madam the Chair. With the permission of the chair, the committee chair, I like to be the motion maker for 6 and 7.
Okay, no problem. And Commissioner Kniezek would like to be the maker of the motions for number 9 and wait. 9 and 11. Madam Clerk. Commissioner
Okay.
Kniezek, 9 and 11.
9 and 11, okay. Commissioner Kniezek, I was gonna call on you next. Did you have another question or was that it?
You took the words out of my mouth, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Varga.
I would like to be the motion maker for item 14, please.
Sure.
Okay. And Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to back up to item number 13 and ask that I'm not sure what the public relations piece will be or any particular areas, but you know, I'm fighting the war on trash, and we actually talked about in one of our meetings about having or putting together some type of public relations piece to deal with clean, green communities in Wayne County. And so I just wanted to ask if there can be consideration in adding a public relations piece in reference to clean communities, or was that already planned?
So I am, through the chair, I am not I don't know that I am familiar with the exact issue that you're referring to, but certainly through our environmental services division, we do have environmental emphasis. We actually have a clean program. We also, if there are certain activities that you want the public to be aware of as it relates to ways that they can help to improve in terms of going green, recycling, things like that, we certainly will be putting those types of informational pieces together. If it's something more localized in terms of, you know, trash pickup, obviously wouldn't be on that level, other maybe than, you know, sort of like a emphasis that they would need to contact their local municipality for any of those types of concerns. But just overall kind of the emphasis to go green, that absolutely will be things that we'll be covering in some of those marketing strategies. And that's something that, you know, people are becoming more conscious about. How can they become green? How can they recycle the benefits? We'll definitely be putting some emphasis there.
Great, great. So would I follow up with you on that, or who would I be able to follow up on?
So what we can do is and kind of related to one of the earlier questions, is that it sounds like there's some interest that as we're putting together some of the public relation pieces that may be going out to the public, if the commissioners can have some awareness of that, you know, as we're sort of developing some of those materials. So we can definitely work through the administration to, you know, make sure that commissioners are receiving some updates so they get an idea of, hey, what are some of the things that we're putting out there, whether it's on the website or social media, or maybe if commissioners want to put some things in their newsletters for their districts, then that way we can be sharing some of those resources and information with the commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elmika, will you be the contact person for this? If we had ideas, or who should we direct?
Yes. If you,
ideas
for now,
to?
yes, please direct any questions to me. And then if we determine later on there would be another point person, we can certainly communicate that. But certainly, yes, if you have any questions in the meantime, please direct them to me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I think this is a very good idea. As a PR person, I think that too many times we don't tell our own story. We wait for other people to tell it. So I completely support the effort that you are endeavoring on. A question, will you be using Act 51 funds for this?
Yes, so this is through our Roads Administration Fund. So that would be the charge for this particular, and that's why I said it's an emphasis on DPS.
Because I noticed when someone asked that question, it occurred to me that if they're using Act 51 funds, then they can't use that PR source for other activities that are going on in Wayne County. It has to be strictly roads related.
Yes, so this is, again, that's why I said I know that sometimes DPS touches in other areas, but the emphasis is on DPS. So in other words, this is not a Wayne County wide department, all departments in Wayne County utilizing this contract. This is a DPS contract.
Yes, absolutely. One other point I need to make. I think one of the other board meetings, I indicated that there was a whole bunch of trash as you exit 94 at Davison, going and coming. And someone from DPS indicated they were going to check that out. If they checked it out, they've not done anything about it. And I do know that that is our responsibility to clean up. It's all kind of trash and bottles and water bottles and paper. It's horrible when you are exiting from 96 onto Davison, or if you are entering that drive onto 96 from Davison. So I would ask once again, because the people in my community are asking me why it looks so messy and so dirty. So I would once again ask our DPS to please check out that and then have someone please clean that up.
Okay, I certainly will make a note of that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention so that we can follow up and get you a response on that.
I'd appreciate it.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Hi, Andrew Kandrivas from Warren Evans, Wayne County Executive Office. If I could take a second to just make a plug to all the commissioners and anybody listening, 888 Road Crew is the best one-stop shop for any complaints, whether you know it's our jurisdiction or whether you're not sure if it's our jurisdiction. It's a one-stop shop. You create a tracking system, you get people looking at it. If it's ours, we have to get on it. If it's not, we have to tell the jurisdiction who is in charge of it. It's a great way for all of us to track any complaints we might have regarding roads, parks, or public service infrastructure. I also want to state, I think that some of the questions regarding the funding that Commissioner Clark Coleman brought up, I think it's a shared source on the, it is under Act 51. I believe that, and Deputy Director Steele can correct me on that, but there will be chargebacks within divisions and making sure that Act 51 will be used properly, but that this firm, will be looking at more than just potholes and roads. They'll be looking at a lot more of what we do at public services, and they'll be able to implement that.
Yeah, but you would be charging it back if it's not
correct. Right.
Related.
Yep.
Right.
Related. There's a process internally for chargebacks to the other divisions within DPS that are not in the road fund, but the contract itself is through DPS.
And I would, Madam Chair, just one more thing I want to just state.
I wasn't done, Andy. So Andy, also, so are you telling me that I should not be mentioning this complaint here, that I should call the 188, whatever it is, about the trash that's at Davison and 96? You're telling me?
No.
You're kindly telling me that I should not be raising that.
No. It's absolutely, we all need to discuss whatever issues we see, especially in our districts. But I do want to make a plug to everybody, not just for the commissioners, but for anybody tuning in, that the 888 Road Crew, we are trying to focus that as a one-stop shop for anybody, whether they're just passing through Wayne County or whether they live in a neighborhood that's been impacted or whether it's a commissioner, to use 888 Road Crew. That will keep the ball moving and will keep accountability in the process so that we can all track what might be done, making sure that people are getting return calls and that action is taken on that. So that's what I meant by that, Commissioner. You are free to discuss any issues you might have.
Thank you. Thank you. I thank you for your permission. But anyhow, I will get a contact back on this particular issue that I brought up today, correct?
I have made note of it. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Madam Chair.
For our listening audience, that 888 number is something that everyone should know. Andy, continue.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, the Deputy Director Steele was great to say she'd be the contact on any ideas or any communications on this contract. But I also, urge you to, we can talk about it, through me as well. If you guys have, if you commissioners have any ideas, what might be beneficial. I know, for instance, as an example, Commissioner Killeen always likes to push things out on his social media. So if we can do that in a format that's easier for all of us to use, we want to make sure we're having that conversation, just as an example. So if you guys have ideas, I'd love to talk to you about it and we can facilitate that with the department.
All right, very good. So we'll contact Mr. Candrivas or Ms. Steele for ideas for what we want to see the marketing company highlight in our areas. Okay, thank you. And just as a point of reference, every exit and on-ramp off 96 is horrible. So, well,
thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Davidson, Tireman, Joy, Greenfield, go straight down the freeway, and every exit and on-ramp is a hot mess. So thank you. I'll put that out there. All right, thank you so much. Any additional questions on the public services report? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Aye.
Commissioner Knizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Morecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun,
Yes.
Vice Chair Palomera,
Yes on all items except number 18, on which I abstain.
duly noted. Chair Bell,
Yes.
motion carries, and I have Commissioner Palomera as abstaining on item 18. The motion makers are Commissioner Baydoun 4, Commissioner Basham 5, Commissioner Anderson 8, Commissioner Hattis 6 and 7, Commissioner Knizik 9 and 11, Commissioner Varga 14.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
We're moving to report C from the Committee on Ways and Means. There are 8 items listed on pages 10 through 12 of the agenda.
Commissioner Varga.
Thank you. Move approval of the entire report.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Are there any questions or discussion on the Ways and Means report? Commissioner Anderson. Up, you're muted, Commissioner.
Sorry about that. Thank you. I'd like to be recorded as a no vote on number 2 for reasons I explained in committee. I'm concerned that the company that we're doing business with has a subsidiary business or a sister business, let's call it, that appeals taxes for some, and to me, it seems like a direct conflict. I know Scott in the committee indicated they weren't doing that in Wayne County. And I just wanted, if he's present for this item, to see if he found out whether there's language in the contract, this contract that we're dealing with right now, that prohibits them from appealing taxes in Wayne County.
Scott, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Morning.
To Commissioner Anderson's question, yes, I did research the matter, and I found that my recollection was correct, that there was wording in the vetting of the original contract in the question answer session that was engaged in writing from Commission Counsel to the vendor and to us as staff regarding the issue of potential conflict and how that would be managed and so forth. I think your question just now was whether there was language in the contract directly about that. I didn't see that directly in the contract. I could be mistaken in that, but it was addressed in writing by the managing director, by one of the principals in the LLC. So that was specifically addressed, that the vendor agreed that it would not engage in, and this is not the vendor proper. This is an LLC of which one of the members of the vendor, the LLC, one of the members would have an interest in any other LLC that would have a primary business function of appealing taxes, that other LLC, another business entity, would not be engaged in appealing assessments within Wayne County during the course of the contract. So the contract, so that notion was in the normal course of business, so that potential conflict was disclosed and addressed, and then it was managed specifically by agreeing to not engage in any kind of business activities that would be in conflict with this business that was contracted 4 years ago and continues to be contracted today.
Madam Chair, Scott, you probably should have a second line as an attorney, because that explanation that you gave us.
Okay, I'll make it simple.
Was it in is it in the contract? It sounds like you said no, that it's not in the contract, but it was in the discussions that took place leading
Yes,
up
sir.
to developing the contract.
It was in the post contract or in the discussion, in the question and answers that Commission Counsel had for the vendor and for staff in response to the contract that was developed. And to the best of my knowledge and belief, it was to the Commission Counsel's satisfaction, the questions and answers. And subsequent to the discussion that we had the other day at the Ways and Means, I provided that document to Commission Counsel and to Auditor General and to the Fiscal Advisor for their just essentially to reiterate and to refresh their memories on the discussion, because it was 4 years ago from quite some time ago.
Right.
I would just not in the original contract, because it was something that was brought up post contract in discussion.
Okay, so
4 years ago.
that sounds like a no, that it's not in the contract, but it was discussed.
Yes, sir. That is a no.
Okay, and the other point, I just wanted members to know that they have this other subsidiary or sister organization or business venture in the same building that appeals those taxes. And I'm not convinced that they are not currently doing it, but anyway, I could be wrong. But I am concerned about the possibility and the potential of having a conflict there. So I still would be recorded as a no, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Varga?
Thank you. I would like Felicia to chime in that this is adequate, that they had signed a document, whether it was in the contract or alongside the contract somehow, where there is no conflict of interest, because I do not want the public to feel that we're doing anything irregular. If you would allow, Madam Chair, for Felicia to chime in.
Counsel, are you available?
Good morning, through the chair.
Good morning.
So as Scott mentioned, this contract occurred several years ago. There were questions back and forth. That information with regards to the responses were provided to the body at the time. As you know, I generally don't offer recommendations, so I won't tell you that I was satisfied or dissatisfied. It was just a matter of making sure the body was fully informed. I mean, while I don't recall the details of it, I will say that the information was provided and vetted at committee at the time, and this body determined to move forward. So we can only assume that it was determined to be sufficient, at least by a majority of commissioners. Commissioner Varga, to your point exactly, I don't recall that there was a specific document signed with regards to conflicts of interest. In fact, I'm fairly confident that there likely wasn't anything other than the contract itself, and then whatever procedures that Scott had worked out potentially with the vendor, who's been working on these type of matters for the last several years. And I think Scott mentioned at committee, and Scott, maybe you can mention now whether or not you've noticed or had any alerts to any conflicts since they've been working over the last few years.
Through the chair. Most definitely. I, as equalization director, I am copied by means of notice requirements by the Michigan Tax Tribunal, which is the tax appeals legal body, tax court, if you will. And I see any tax court filings or dispositions by means of notice that go through my office. I get multiple of these every business day. And so I know who the parties are, who the parties that are bringing the tax appeals are, and who their legal representation would be, whether it's a law firm, whether it's an appraisal firm, professional services provider. And I have I can say with certainty, in 100% of the cases, I have not seen an entity, the quality equalization services, this entity proper, or another affiliated entity, or one of the members of this one, of this legal entity, has been appealing taxes. So they have been faithful to their word, and that's something that I have firsthand knowledge of, because I have and do review for that specific characteristic of the tax court filings, and that would be definitely something that would be most interested in vetting out and prohibiting, if that were the case, but it's not the case.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Felicia. Commissioner Anderson?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to make sure it's clear that this did come before the commission and before committee a few years back, the original contract. And I just want to make sure it's clear that I voted against it at that time as well, with the same concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Basham?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm paying particular attention to this, and what was interesting is, and I struggle with this a little bit, I rely pretty heavy on what our commission counsel says. And if I heard her right, she said she was aware of it and she didn't have an opinion whether she was for it or against it. It's like, is she saying she doesn't have concerns? Or is she saying she does have? I'd like her to say one or the other. Either she has concerns or she doesn't have concerns.
Counsel, do you have any concerns?
Through the chair, so when we reviewed this modification, we did not do a deep dive back into the issues we reviewed in 2017. So I can't make any representations right now with regards to every issue that was raised and exactly how they were resolved, other than to say these issues regarding conflict were raised. We did get responses back. All of that information was provided to the body at the time, and at the time the body determined to move forward. But again, because we did not, when we do modifications, we do not necessarily revisit all of the original issues with the contract. We focus on what's in the actual modification document. I mean, because this was not a new contract, that was not something that we determined to re-review in the process of looking at this mod. And it was back in 2017, and I simply don't recall every aspect of it at this moment.
Thank you, Counsel. Commissioner Basham?
I'll be a no on two also.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on the Ways and Means report? Yes, that Commissioner Varga?
Yes. I appreciate Scott being very vigilant over watching over whether there is any conflict whenever we have a contract that he handles or he has oversight over. And I appreciate that we had no conflict of interest in the past. And this is a one-year renewal. And we understand from our committee discussions that this item will be going out for bid again. And we will make sure that the contract itself, should they be the winner again, we'll have that language in there proper. So there will never be a worry about it again. But I'm confident that there has not been in all of these years any conflict of interest shown. And for the next year, I think if there is anything at all, Scott would immediately get on it. So with that, I do suggest that we approve this item.
Thank you, Commissioner. Going through the rest of the Committee on Ways and Means, are there any other discussion on the other items on the report? You can move the page up, please. Any discussion on any of the other items on the Ways and Means report? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes, with the one exception.
duly noted. Commissioner Basham,
Yes, with the one exception.
duly noted. Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis, Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Knizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes,
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun,
Yes.
Vice Chair Palomero,
Yes.
Chair Bell.
Yes.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioners Anderson and Basham as a no on 2.
Thank you so much. Next item, please.
We're moving to report D from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There is one item listed.
Okay, Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval, item number 1.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion on the item from Health and Human Services? Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd. I'm sorry, Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Aye.
Commissioner Knizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Varga,
yes,
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun,
Yes.
Vice Chair Palomero,
Yes.
Chair Bell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
We are on report E from the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There are 4 items listed on pages 13 and 14 of the agenda.
Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of items 1 through 4.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on the items for the public safety report? Any discussion on items 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah. Oh, yes, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Killeen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking for my hand up button. On item 3, with the 1,800 not in custody warrants and COVID was represented here, does that mean, what does that mean? How, not in custody warrants, what does that mean? Were we not taking people into custody as a result of coronavirus? I'm just looking for the relationship here between coronavirus and more than 1,800 not in custody warrants.
Tony, are you on? Are you here today?
Someone from the prosecutor's office available? Only earlier.
Through the chair, this is Joe Slezak. It was explained in committee that the in custody warrants were taken care of, promptly. So when somebody has to be in custody, that was addressed. This is just to clear out the backlog of the other warrants.
Okay, thank you, and if I can clarify language here, then does the prosecutor, if they already have somebody under arrest or have somebody in custody, in custody warrants, then they're issued a warrant while they're in custody, and then there's another group of folks that we're issuing warrants who are not already in custody. Just trying to see how this works.
I believe, if memory serves, that it depends on the seriousness of the charge. If they're going to be, if they're going to be held in custody, that warrant is taken care of, is taken care of immediately.
Madam Chair.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Hi, Andrew Kandrivas again. Commissioner, I don't have any knowledge about this, but generally speaking as a former assistant prosecutor, in custody warrant, think if somebody, there's speculation of drunk driving where somebody is kept at the scene, they're being locked up, waiting a warrant, you have a certain number of hours to which you have to charge them or release them. And there are other matters that are more investigatory, complaints, like a sex crime, for instance, where there's an allegation against an adult by a child. That's something that's investigated. Somebody might not be taken into custody, because there's not an event that caused that, but that's something where they write the warrants up. So usually those get put on the back burner because you don't have this constitutional mandate to issue a warrant in a certain amount of time. So that's generally the difference.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kandrivas. That's very clear with that. But I'm just, we have a lot of attention on our criminal justice system, and rightly so these days. And so just seeing how it works. So we were falling behind on the warrants for people that were still out in the community.
Commissioner Killeen, I will certainly make sure that Tony gives you a call to explain this whole issue to you.
That'd be great. I'd love to talk to Tony, but but just understanding the flow in and out of the criminal justice system, we were getting backed up on people that we wanted to issue warrants for, but they weren't in custody. Okay. Thank you, Madam.
And this is a grant for us from the state police to help in that matter. But we'll make sure that someone from the prosecutor's office gives you a call to explain the entire process. But we're happy to receive these dollars to assist the prosecutor in making sure that those not in custody warrants are attended to.
Absolutely.
Any other questions on the public safety report? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadis,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Knizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Morecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun,
Yes.
Vice Chair Palomero,
Yes.
Chair Bell,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next item.
We are moving to page 14 of the agenda, Report F from the Committee on Government Operations. There are 4 items listed on pages 14 and 15 of the agenda.
Okay, Commissioner Dobb is not here. The Vice Chair is Commissioner Killeen. Commissioner Killeen?
Madam Chair, yes, the committee approved all 4 of these items. And we did approve a settlement. We had a closed session on one of these items and moved it forward. So I move all 4 items in the GovOps report.
Supported by Commissioner Basham. Any discussion on the government operations report? Items 1, 2, 3, 4 of GovOps. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Knizik,
Yes.
Commissioner Morecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun,
Yes.
Vice Chair Palomera,
Yes.
Chair Bell,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. All right, next item.
Upcoming committee meetings.
Okay, and everyone, please note Wednesday, August 4th for another committee of the whole. If you recall, those of you who were here 5 years ago, we changed how we did our jail medical services, and we contracted with an outside company. That time is up and the RFP was issued and a new company was selected. We had very many questions at the last time around with a binder full of information. So I think this discussion for the new vendor warrants a committee of the whole where we can take a deep dive into the new company that's being suggested for this. That would be on Wednesday, August 4th at 10 a.m. Next item, please.
Public comments.
Okay, if you could unmute the phone and the Zoom. If there's anyone for public comments, you have 2 minutes for your public comments. Is there anyone on Zoom or on the phone? Okay, Mr. Palmer?
Good morning, members of the commission and members of the public. My name is David Palmer. I'm serving as the interim executive director for the Hamtramck Parks Conservancy. Later on the agenda, you'll have a conversation about the investments proposed at the Conservancy at Hamtramck Stadium, and would gratefully appreciate the commission's support for this important work to honor the history of the Negro Leagues players that played in Hamtramck, and to add and reactivate an asset on behalf of the community in Hamtramck and Wayne County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Any additional public comments? If I don't see your hand, you can just go ahead and begin. I don't see any hands. Are there any emails, Madam Clerk?
No emails were received.
Okay, thank you. I see Commissioner Basham would like to speak under public comments.
Yes, we got this addenda item last night. And I don't know, I don't feel like I've done my homework on it, so a little bit skeptical.
Okay, we can discuss when we get to that item, which is
Okay,
next, sir.
thank you.
Any other public comments? Hearing no other public comments, we'll go to the next item, Madam Clerk.
We are on page 16 of the agenda, new business. There are 3 items listed. Item number 1 is requesting commission approval of an agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and the City of Hamtramck for coordination of the restoration of Hamtramck Stadium, allowing the county and its.
Yes, items 1, 2, and 3 are all related. So 1 is the contract for the agreement with the city, and the other 2 are grant agreements. And I will allow whoever is here from the administration to.
Madam Chair, I move approval of item 1 through 3.
I'm gonna, okay, I'm sorry.
I would
but if
like
you
to
don't
be the
mind-
maker of the motion for 1, 2, and 3, please.
Okay, hold on 1 second, everyone, please. All right, because these are in Commissioner Scott's district, I will allow her to make the motion to approve 1, 2, and 3. Is there support?
Support.
Okay, thank you. So again, someone from the administration, if you could please speak to these items.
Harry Carroll, Community Development Director, Department of Economic Development for the county, Madam Chair. This is a follow-up to the 2019 Annual Action Plan under Community Development Block Grant where we received directed authority to make improvements to the historic Hamtramck Stadium under the block grant program. After we got into it, we found out that the block grant funds that were requested weren't nearly enough, and we began building different revenue sources, from the National Park Services to local foundations. What you're seeing is the local foundation piece that is coming in from the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers, the Wilson Foundation, and also the Kresge Foundation. That brings the total project cost up to $2.582 million for the rehabilitation and the rehabilitation of the canopy. That gets the field playable, gets the facility usable, and completes our commitment under the 2019 action plan. And I guess with that, I could go ahead and take some questions.
And just before we get to questions, how much county dollars are in this agreement?
We have no county dollars in it. We have block grant dollars in it to the tune of about $900,000, between $850,000 and $900,000 of 4 years worth of community development block grant funds.
And this was in the plan back in 2019?
That was part of the 16, 18, 19, and last year's 20.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Terry, if you would just confirm what I'm going to ask you. You said that, to make sure everybody's clear, the community development block grant portion of this came as a result of the delegated authority that was granted in 2019, and not that the commission approved this individual project at that time, but that the administration decided that's where they wanted to spend the money?
No, the commission approved this as part of the annual action plan, and it was a result of the RFP process that we changed the community development block grant program to. It was requested by the local community.
But you're saying that it was specifically, this project was in that 2019?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay. So you said it's between $850,000 and $900,000?
Yes, sir.
The block grant money. That's the only concern I have about this project. I think it sounds like a great project. It really does. But the concern I have is that we're taking so much of the community developed CDBG dollars and putting into one project that is then not going to be used for a lot of the other areas like River Rouge, Riverview, Inkster, and other areas that could really use the help to improve the quality of life for those residents. And it's like I said, that's the only concern that I really have, and that this is not something that's necessarily going to benefit the entire underprivileged population in Wayne County. It's a great project, but like I said, I just don't know that this is the best type of use of those dollars. That's the only concern that I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. I want to recognize Mary Carr from our fiscal analyst. She may have some details about the money. Mary?
Hi, through the chair. Yes, so these CDBG dollars for these program years, they were actually allocated to Hamtramck. So he's not taking funds away from other communities. They're Hamtramck CDBG allocation dollars that were
Thank
put
you.
like park improvements and such.
Okay, and that was over those years that Mr. Carroll made mention of.
Yes,
Okay, thank you, Mary, for that clarification.
you're welcome.
So,
solid.
Madam
Anderson?
Chair, just a follow-up. Mary, are you saying that every dollar from the almost $900,000 was money that was allocated in CDBG funds to Hamtramck by itself?
Yes, through
It was
those.
not- It was
so
not
it's
collected together.
I'm sorry?
It was not collected from, I understood it was money that was not allocated, that it was not allocated, and I thought it was recaptured dollars.
No, so for each program year, under the spreadsheet that they provide for the action plans, they allocated certain amounts of dollars to Hamtramck under CDBG for like park improvements for Hamtramck. So for 2016, they allocated the funds for park improvements, which is what they're using. Same goes for 2018. And then for 2019 and 2020, they actually allocated those dollars for this purpose.
Okay, and just one follow-up question to Terry, if I could. Terry, is there provisions in there? I know they have to keep it as like a recreation facility for 10 years. Is there anything that says that it cannot be sold to a private interest within those 10 years?
Actually, this fits into a much larger plan for the entire district over there. We would anticipate or expect that the actual field will transfer in ownership to the Hamtramck Park Conservancy under the agreement that they have with the city and the public schools district over there that makes up that entire district, and that the Hamtramck Park Conservancy would actually be the owner and the operator of that facility, as well as the abutting Keyworth Stadium facility.
Okay, and you're on board with what Mary had mentioned, that these were dollars that were already allocated to Hamtramck, that it was not recaptured dollars, correct?
We moved, they were not all stadium dollars, but they went to Hamtramck, and we moved some of them from other projects into Hamtramck.
But none recaptured from other communities, you're saying?
No, nothing got recaptured from other communities.
All right, thank you. Thank you, I stand corrected.
Thank you. Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's been cleared up. I just wanted to inform my colleague that these are Hamtramck dollars and they're long overdue for this stadium. It's only one of 5 Negro stadiums in the country and totally long overdue. So I'm glad that it's finally happening. And I'd like to invite everybody on August the 3rd to come to the opening so that you can enjoy it. We're not taking dollars from any other community. It's long overdue for my district. Thank you.
Thank you, and please send us all notices for that date, Commissioner.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, my concern was not as much about the project. It was about, we didn't get this till last night. So I had a lot of questions, but sitting here and listening to Terry and others talk about, and Mary Carr and others, it cleaned up a lot of my questions. When we have an addenda this big, that quick, with no notice, it just sort of, it makes me want to drink 2 or 3 extra cups of coffee to keep up with it. But so I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kling.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I can't recall, and maybe it's happened in my time on the commission, that the county was used as a funnel for donations from nonprofit groups and the such to go to a project. So my question is, what is the ordinance that underpins the fact that the county can behave in such a way as to take in money from a private source and then direct it to a project such as this? What's the ordinance that allows us to do that?
I'll direct that to Corp Counsel or Commission Counsel. I'll start with Corp Counsel if Cheryl's on the line. Okay, Cheryl's not on the line. Commission Counsel, do you have a response to that? If not, Commissioner Killeen, I can have Corp Counsel discuss that with you.
So through the chair.
Go ahead.
This is Felicia, through the chair. Commissioner, so I'm not aware of any ordinance that addresses this issue, but I'm also not certain that we need an ordinance to address the issue. But you are correct. Staff was also not aware of a time where we've taken in private dollars. So we did inquire of the administration with regards to the process that will be used for this. We didn't get all the information back, but they did set forth a budget process for accepting grants, which is similar to that, how we accept grants and do budget adjustments for governmental funded grants that we received. But as far as any other details regarding process and procedures, we did inquire and we didn't get any other information other than how they'll process the budget adjustments.
Thank you, Counsel. I want to follow up with you here just very quickly because it's totally understandable about receiving grants from the state of Michigan and from the federal government. You indicated that we may not need an ordinance that allows us to do that. Would you share your thoughts on why we may not even need an underlying ordinance in order to conduct this rather rare fiscal transaction?
Well, Commissioner, I say that an ordinance is likely not necessary. And again, I don't want to speak in definitives, but I don't know that it's necessary because it's the acceptance of money. We don't have any ordinance that specifically talks about the receipt of grant funds or any other dollars that we receive. So I'm not certain that you would need an ordinance to set forth the ability to take in funds. Now, if this body wanted to put forth an ordinance to talk about the process, you know, what procedures needed to happen, what approvals need to happen, how it should be processed internally, that could be an ordinance. But an ordinance to actually accept in funding, I don't know why the county would need such a document.
And as you stated, Counsel, a budget adjustment is generally the procedure in which we would do such a thing.
Yes, so a budget adjustment and also the grant award, which is on your item on our agenda. I believe it's items, I don't see it now, but there were 3 items associated with it and 2 of them are grant receipts. So the commission always approves the actual award from the entity. And then we also get a budget adjustment to receive in the money and to allocate the funds. So it's always a 2-step process. You have the approval of the receipt of the grant, which is before this body now, and then the budget adjustment, which I think will make it to Ways and Means hopefully next week.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Thank you, Counsel. Commissioner.
Do I still have the floor, Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I hear you on the receipt of money into the county. I hear you on that. But then this is a little bit unprecedented. And what I don't want to have happen here, which is why I'm asking these questions, is to have something after the fact say, oh, no, you can't do that. I think that's my job as a commissioner to make sure that we're following the rules of the road. I was delighted when this project was put in the plan a couple of years back, because it is a very important plan. And I'd hate to put the project in jeopardy by the county taking some sort of action that then would not allow us to get the funds there. So I'm still a little bit nervous that there's a void here. But yeah, I'm in support of this. So thank you, Council. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, Commissioner Scott, congratulations. This is a fantastic project and it's a long time coming. And Hamtramck saved up their monies to make it happen. And I am so happy for them. I'm so happy for this project. And please let me know when you have your ribbon cutting or groundbreak, whatever you're going to do. Let me know. This is absolutely fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I am happy.
Yes, I know you are, Commissioner Scott. Commissioner Varga.
I was just going to say the same thing, Commissioner Martha G. Scott. You did something impossible and made it possible. So thank you for being so creative and bringing everybody to the table to make it happen. That's what experienced commissioners do. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Very good. Commissioner Jesus.
Thank you. Congratulations to Commissioner Scott and the city of Hamtramck. It's an excellent project. But I like to comment on my colleague Anderson when he mentioned the new formula. I voted for the new formula because the old formula, it cheated a lot of small community from doing any good project under the CDBG because there's not enough money. You know, you get to 20,000, 12,000, I don't know, Hamtramck was a little bit less than 15. Even if they save it for 3 years, the allowable time, before they find a project that small, some of the money would expire. Now with the new formula, if they give one community, small community project that they need and cost 200 and 300, they did that this year, and next year and the following year, they wouldn't get nothing. This formula given a chance to all the small community to do project been waiting for a long time and they didn't have the money for it. So I think it's working very well for last year, and this year I've been watching because I was involved with the CDBG from 1993 almost. Terry Carroll was a young man and he had a black hair at that time. So, but the new formula, it makes a lot of sense to give some of the community who could never accumulate enough money for the project they need to do. I give you example. Last year, Van Buren got $500,000. It take them 10 years to get that much money, and they did their project. And now for next 2-3 years, they wouldn't get nothing. So I think it's a win-win situation, and I hope we'll look at that from the success of those projects they come before us.
Thank you, Commissioner, for those words. We appreciate that. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too want to commend Commissioner Scott on the Negro Stadium. And so I am very much in support. Also, as far as the new formula that Commissioner Haddis just talked about, I think is important for us to have a lump sum of dollars. And this is what that lump sum does. It allows us the ability to do more with our communities or within our communities. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to see if we can each of our districts get some of our monies appropriated so that we can do more projects like this. So I commend Commissioner Scott. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Anderson.
really quick, I know it was mentioned about watching, taking from other communities, and one of the commissioners mentioned that, and she's one of the ones that's always saying that her community needs help. And I think we all have communities within our districts that need help. And just to point out, it was mentioned that we didn't get this until last night. So that's why sometimes it takes longer to get to the bottom of all the pieces of the puzzle. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Scott.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. And two of my appropriations that I only get 50,000 have gone to the park. That's how much I believe in this park. And if any of my colleagues would like to donate some of their parks money, it is very acceptable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Scott, I can spare $500.
Whatever you can give, it would be appreciated.
Madam the Chair, I didn't mention one thing. It's very important. All the large municipality, they're not part like Livonia, Taylor, Dearborn, Kent, all those large population, they're not part of the Wayne County CDBG program. They get their own funding.
Yes.
Directly. So the new formula, it gives those small community to be able to do something.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And really, I appreciate the administration and Terry Carroll and putting this new formula. And now you're going to see some project in all those small communities.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And
Thank
you. 40
ahead,
years ago, a number of Blacks were displaced because of the freeways. And I still have 3 homes that still need to be built. So we can use a lot of help over there. All right. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to, just before we take the vote, if there are no other questions, just really point out the fact that the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation and the Tigers Foundation are contributing to this, which I think is, remarkable to have those 2 organizations who are so into sports and parks and open spaces to be confident in this project to give of their own foundation dollars. So that just speaks to the volume of how important this project is going forward, as well as the Kresge Foundation. So have all of those foundations know how important this is and to give their funds. I mean, I can't wait until it's open. And this will be something that everyone throughout Wayne County and Southeastern Michigan will be able to go to, have games, and just really participate in it. So I'm very proud of this project. If we should approve it in the next 30 seconds. So
please do. Thank you so much.
Good job, Martha. Good job.
Hearing no other discussion, roll call vote, please, on items 1, 2, and 3.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kinlock,
Yes.
Commissioner Kniezek,
Sorry, yes.
Commissioner Marecki,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes, yes,
Commissioner
yes.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun,
Yes.
Vice Chair Palomera,
Yes.
Chair Bell.
Yes.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Scott as the maker of the motion on all 3 items.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, dear.
All right, next item, please.
We are on page 17 of the agenda, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 3 items listed.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Support.
Moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Anyone wish to abstain? Next
Motion
item.
carried.
Sorry, thank you. Next item.
We are on memoriams. There are 3 names listed.
Okay, anyone wish to speak to our names listed for memoriams? Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 2 weeks ago, on this very day, when I got off of my call, got off the Zoom board meeting, I was notified that they found my longtime staffer, my longtime community liaison staffer, James Wells. They found him in his home. He peacefully passed away on the couch. He was 78. He'd been with me since I first started here on the commission, almost 11 years. It really shook me to my core because James was part of my family. I mean, I considered him family. He was the most kind and dedicated individual that I have had the opportunity to work with. So I'd like to add the name under memoriams of James Wells, and to certainly ask people to keep his family in prayer. And I wish him farewell, and I wish him a great journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and certainly we will keep you in our prayers as well. I know he was a dear friend of yours,
Yes.
so we'll continue to keep his family as well as you in our prayers with this unexpected loss of James. He was a wonderful, wonderful person, not just Stafford, just a wonderful person.
Yes, he was.
Thank you. Commissioner Killeen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to add the name of the legend, Mike Kerwin, Kerwin, to the memoriams. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, Mike Kerwin was just a wonderful man, just very active in the political arena. I met him when I first got involved as a precinct delegate. Him and his wife was just two outstanding people. And to Irma Clark Coleman, her staffer, was just an excellent man. My prayers go out to him and his family. He was just a great person in the community. I don't think there was ever a community meeting that I went to that he wasn't there.
That's true.
And was just a kind, wonderful man. And so I thank God for his life. And Nader Fakor, my longtime buddy, I am so sorry. And my prayers go out to his family. And also to Mr. Brown, Attorney Charles H. Brown was just a wonderful man throughout the community. So I just want to thank God for all of their lives and all of that they did for this city and this community and this state. So thank you for the opportunity just to share a few words about them.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to add my neighbor to the list of memoriams, Gerald Nyland, Nyland. Jerry, everyone knew him as Jerry. He was a Ford retiree from the Rouge facility. He was in the explosion. He was one of those that was injured at the foundry explosion. I think it was about 15 years ago, if not more. And he survived that, but unfortunately he passed away at his home about a week and a half ago. And I just wanted to add his name to the memoriam. He was a great guy. He loved gardening. He had a beautiful garden most of the time in the back of his yard. And I remember the last conversation I had with him as I was walking around the block. And I saw him in his backyard. He came over and he said, I said, "You've got a great looking garden, Jerry." And he says, "Well, he had just been pulling weeds apparently." And he says, "I found I'm much better at growing weeds than I am the garden." But he always left you with something comical to remember him by. And Nader, I'm very saddened by the passing of Nader. My experience with him was he was really a great guy. And so we're losing a lot of good people. But anyway, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And Nader, all of us, or most of us knew him and knew how dedicated he was to the county, to the community, to his family. At this time, I'd like to go out of protocol a little bit and ask Alan Hemkamp to give some words on Nader. He was very close to him and knew him for a very long time. Alan?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I just wanted to acknowledge our staff for hustling this on for today. Nader just passed late afternoon Tuesday. I actually was with Commissioner Baydoun and others when the message came, and worked with Nader in the executive office of the previous county executive. Many of you will remember him maybe more on the political side in a lot of ways, but a kinder, more generous person you'd be hard pressed to meet. Nader was only 52 and he's survived by his wife Janine, who also worked for Wayne County for some years, and has 3 children. And so I just appreciate having this opportunity as a former colleague just to say a few words for my buddy Nader. And thank you for the other commissioners who have chimed in with their anecdotes.
Yes.
Thank you, Alan. We certainly are losing a lot of great people. We'll keep all of their families in our prayers. Hearing no other, if we could please have a moment of silence, please, for everyone that we've lost. Okay. Thank you all so very much. And again, we're keeping all of the families in our prayers during this very difficult time. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Reconsiderations.
There are none.
Remarks by members.
Are there any remarks by members?
Madam
I
Chair.
see, yes, Commissioner Kinlock.
1 second. Madam Chair, first I'd like to thank all of the commissioners for the resolution and the cards and the phone calls and texts that I received with the passing of my mother. It was a great sight to see Commissioner Anderson at the family visitation. I would just like to say I really appreciate the outreach and the outpouring of support during that time. So I just want to say that, and thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Irma Clark Coleman. And I just want to say I really appreciate Commissioner Clark Coleman preparing that chicken and dumplings for my mother that she enjoyed. And I just want to say my family, thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll continue to keep your family in our prayers. I know the services were last week, but the pain of losing your mother goes on for a very long time. So you have our hugs and prayers during this difficult time.
Okay, can I also add for the note? I want to thank also the prosecutor, the county executive, the county clerk, and the county treasurer who participated in bringing some remarks to the family. So I want to also extend our family's appreciation to them as well. Thank you again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was there in spirit, although I was out.
Oh, absolutely. But you've been texting me and all that
spirit.
stuff. Yes. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. God bless you and your family. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to thank you and also Jonathan, Commissioner Jonathan Kinlock, for your support in the tribute and remembrance concert that we had on Belle Isle last week. We had a fabulous time in honor of those that passed away from COVID, and we paid tribute to frontline workers. I want to also thank all of the staff that came out. They came out and just supported and did whatever it took to make the event, the day, a success, and it was. So I just want to thank all of you who contributed to that. Also, the applications for the Wayne County Commission Youth Council will open up. So I will be sending those out to you, to commissioners. So I hope you will look at them early and get them out early so that you can appoint 2 young people in your district. They have to either reside in Wayne County or attend a school in Wayne County. I think we'll have a great year. We had a great year and great students last year. So just wanted to let you know, look for the applications and send in those applications once you get them, and then we will get those students on board. Thank you.
Very good. And congratulations again on the Contribute concert. You know, the weather was terrible Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, but on Wednesday we had beautiful weather, beautiful concert, great music. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. So thank you so much for your leadership in that. And I know the families that we've lost, the frontline workers, really appreciated the effort that we did on that day. So congratulations. It was a great event.
Thank you.
Commissioner Scott.
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say to Commissioner Kenlock that you have my prayers and support in the loss of your mom and your brother, the great Reverend. I was also at the funeral. I tried speaking to you. Evidently, you didn't see me.
I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
Yes, but anyway, I was there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Baidoon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to speak a little bit about the recent flooding that happened in Wayne County. We represent close to 1.8 million residents from Wayne County. All of our districts, many of our districts were devastated with the flood. My district in Dearborn specifically was the hardest hit during this recent round of flooding. And I know Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Killeen, and other commissioners also in their districts, and also parts of Detroit. I think as Wayne County commissioners, we need to be a little bit more involved in the roundtable discussion. Maybe we should have a special task force along with the Wayne County Executive's Office and involve some of our engineers from the local cities, because this is going to take a collective effort. The cities on their own, they're not going to be able to solve these problems. And I know we need to involve people on the federal level, our members of Congress, and also on the state level. So we need to stay involved, and perhaps, Madam Chair, maybe we should form some kind of a task force spearheaded by the Wayne County Executive's Office and the commissions, the Wayne County commissioners, and involve other stakeholders, and let's try to figure this thing out. And we need to lobby all levels of governments, federal, state, and we need to fix this problem, because this will happen again and people will be devastated again. That's my thoughts. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. You are absolutely right. As you know, the congressional delegation has been on top of this, all of the communities. But yes, I think Commissioner Haydos had mentioned that before about forming some kind of task force to look into this. So that is something that I will talk to the administration so that we can do it sooner than later. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To my colleague, Commissioner Baidoon, I'm not sure if everyone should have received a notice about the statewide call. There were representatives at the state level, at the county level. Our folks that were heavily involved in getting the water under control as best as they could. And Tad Sturdivant, our home security person, he told me about it. He turned in everyone's names. I got them to him. And so you should have an email. And this is going to be an ongoing process where they're assessing what can be done for the future to enhance and our, all of our pipes and our basically our ability to handle such a huge water flow. And they're taking it step by step, and they are doing a weekly meeting. So if you look back in your email, if you didn't see it, look back and you should have something that inviting you to that meeting. And it's going to be a weekly meeting as of now, a weekly meeting. And it's basically a task force that's already been formed. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't do something additionally ourselves, but I think being able to tap into that where we have representatives at the state level, I think will be helpful to us. And the last thing yes.
To that point, Commissioner Anderson, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Yes, I was invited and I was on that meeting. It was very informative meeting, and then I will continue to attend. But I think maybe on the local level, Wayne County, maybe we should spearhead this effort also. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud with all of you.
Yeah, I meant to say Homeland Security Director Tad Sturdivant. But anyway, he's been doing a phenomenal job.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I wanted to mention this. I'm going to try to get everyone a copy of this. I don't know if you can see it, Finding Your Way, resources for people in Wayne County. And it's tabbed. It has all the tabs for different types of services. I just thought if I can get extra copies, I will do that. I only have 3 right now. And what I'll do is try to get everyone a copy. If nothing else, it's something good to look through yourself, but our staff, when they get the calls for asking for help with something, it's published by the National Kidney Foundation, and it's specific to Wayne County, resources in Wayne County. So I'll try to get as soon as I get those, I'll make sure they go in everyone's mailbox.
That'll be much appreciated, Commissioner. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Commissioner Varga.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know we did get the budget, and budget meetings have been set. Some are tentative, some are written in stone, and you will be getting those meeting schedules fairly quickly. And committee members had already gotten them. And we are going to try to live stream some of the meetings on Facebook. And I'm not sure what other media, but we're going to try to make this a little more high tech and a little inviting for the public. So stay tuned and more information will be coming.
Thank you, Commissioner. That would be great if we could live stream it on Facebook so that we can have as much participation and transparency as possible. Great. Thank you. Vice Chair Palomero.
Especially the one, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner.
I was just going to add, especially the meetings where all of our elected officials will be coming. I think those will be very important. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Vice Chair.
Thanks, Madam Chair. To our commission colleague, Commissioner Kinloch. When my own mom passed away 17 years ago, somebody told me something that I still believe rings true. A lot of people tell you in life, love you this, love you, man, but nobody loves you like your mom. I am so very sorry for your loss. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair Palomero. I think that sums up how all of us feel, and we again send hugs and prayers to our dear colleague. I will say some final remarks before we adjourn. Last week, myself, Commissioner Baker McCormick, Commissioner Dobb, and Commissioner Marecki were able to attend the National Association of Counties Conference in Washington, D.C. A great conference. Speakers were Vice President Harris. She was there in person. Speaker Pelosi was there in person. HUD Secretary Fudge was there. Transportation Secretary Buttigieg also spoke to us. So it was a great conference with great participation from the White House. Also during that conference, we are a member of the Large Urban County Caucus, and the chair of the caucus had a platform issue on unresolved rape kits. She gave a big shout out to our prosecutor in Wayne County for the work that we've done. And now this is a platform that's going to be addressed through all of the counties through the country. So I just want you all to know that Ken Worthy and the county commission and the county is doing great work and trailblazers for testing untested rape kits. And now there's a model for across the country. Also, I was appointed to the National Association of Counties Board by the president. Each year, the president gets 10 at-large board seats that he selects, and I was selected as one of those board seats. So again, I am very happy to represent Wayne County on the national level at the National Association of Counties. So
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And also we were able to, because of my activity with NACO, we were able to pull together a small meeting with the Intergovernmental Relations of the White House to discuss our Tri-County Summit. I asked Chair Woodward from Oakland County and Chair Brown from Macomb County to join me in that meeting with the White House staff. And they were very impressed that we were engaging in a Tri-County Summit, a summit to bring all of our large counties together here in southeastern Michigan. And they were also impressed that it's a bipartisan endeavor because the chair of Macomb County is Republican. So they were just really excited. And we hope to have some White House officials to participate in the Tri-County Summit, which is scheduled for November 12th. So hopefully that meeting will get some great results. We're trying to get Secretary Buttigieg to come as the Secretary of Transportation. So I will keep you all informed as we move forward with that. And I think that's all that I have. Hearing no other comments by members, remarks by members, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
All right, thank you so much. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
You too, Madam Chair.